Let me ask you something real. How long you gonna keep putting your dream in somebody else's hands? See, there's this illusion we grow up with, this soft lie that says, if I just work hard enough, if I'm a good person, the people closest to me will automatically support me. We believe that because they love us, they are obligated to show up for us, that they'll clap, they'll invest, they'll open doors. But the truth is, expectation is a dangerous drug. You walk around with this quiet hope that your sister's gonna back your business, that your uncle's gonna introduce you to somebody who can change your life, that your mom's gonna finally understand that your dream ain't just some wild phase, it's your purpose. But too often, it don't happen like that. And when it doesn't, you start questioning yourself. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm asking for too much. If the people who raised me don't believe in me, who will? Let me stop you right there. Listen, people can love you and still not support you. They can cheer for your safety more than your success, because support, real support, demands vision. It demands that someone sees past who you are right now into who you're becoming, and not everybody's got those kind of eyes. Some folks are too close to the old version of you. They still see the kid who messed up in high school, or the one who always had big dreams but never followed through. They're blind to your growth. So you end up chasing approval from people who only remember your roots, not your wings. And here's the thing, it's not personal. Most of the time, it's not even malice. It's just human nature. People project their limits onto you. If they couldn't do it, they'll struggle to imagine that you can. If they never left the neighborhood, they won't understand why you're packing your bags. But if you don't wake up from that illusion, if you keep waiting for family to validate the path God gave you, you'll stay stuck, anchored in place, starving in a kitchen full of your own ingredients, waiting for someone else to cook the meal. You got to break that chain of expectation. Tear it off like a shackle. Because the moment you stop looking for permission is the moment you start gaining momentum. Don't get me wrong. Support is a beautiful thing, but it ain't a prerequisite for greatness. You don't need a round of applause to take your first step. You just need courage. That quiet, trembling kind. The kind that says, I may be alone, but I'm still going. I learned that the hard way. You probably will too. But when you do, when you stop expecting your breakthrough to come from familiar hands, you unlock a different kind of power. A freedom, a grit, a fire that don't burn out just because nobody else showed up with matches. So I'm telling you right now, straight up, don't let your future sit in the waiting room of someone else's approval. If they come, they come. If they don't, you still go. And if you go far enough, long enough, strong enough, one day they'll look up and realize you never needed saving. You just needed space to fly. Let's get something straight tonight. Family love does not automatically equal family support. It feels like it should. You think, if they love me, then of course they'll be there, of course they'll show up. But love is not the same as investment. It's not the same as belief. It's not the same as support. You can be wrapped in love and still left out in the cold when it comes to your dreams. Let me tell you something personal. There were times in my own life where I knew I was loved. I didn't question it. Sunday dinners, birthday calls, warm hugs. Yeah, the love was there. But when I stepped out and said, this is who I am, this is what I'm chasing, all that warmth didn't turn into fuel. It didn't turn into backing. It didn't turn into belief. And that's a hard pill to swallow because it's confusing. You think something's wrong with you. You wonder, why is it that strangers online clapped louder for me than the people who watched me grow up? Here's why. Some people love you based on who you've always been, not who you're becoming. They love you at the level of their understanding. They love the version of you that was safe, predictable, easy to categorize. But when you change, when you level up, evolve, speak differently, move differently, they don't know how to love that version yet. That new version challenges what they've always known. It stretches the image they had of you. And for some, that's uncomfortable. See, real support, true support, means someone steps outside of their comfort zone to walk beside you in your direction, even if they don't fully understand the road. That's rare, that's sacred, and a lot of folks, even the ones who love you, aren't built for that. Some family members are rooted in fear, not faith. They'll say they're looking out for you, but really they're looking through the lens of their own regrets. You sure you want to do that? You know how many people fail at that? Maybe you should think smaller, play it safe. But don't mistake that for hate. It's not hate. It's limitation. It's projection. They're not trying to hurt you. They just don't want you to get hurt. The problem is, in trying to protect you from failure, they're blocking you from freedom. You have to get to a place where you can say, I love you, but I won't shrink for you. I respect you, but I won't slow down so you can catch up to who I'm becoming. Because your vision was not a group text. It wasn't a family meeting. It was given to you for you. And you got a stop expecting everyone to sign off on it before you move. It takes maturity to separate the two, to say you love me, but you don't support this version of me. And that's okay. I don't need you to see it before I start building it. Now that don't mean you cut them off. It means you stop looking to them to validate what was never theirs to begin with. You stop standing in the hallway waiting for someone else to open a door you already have the key to. Because some of the most powerful moments in your journey will be when you show up for yourself while the people you thought would be in the front row are nowhere in sight. That's when it becomes real. That's when your faith gets louder than their silence. Don't confuse love for alignment. Don't confuse history for harmony. And whatever you do, don't let the absence of support make you abandon your calling. You were loved before you were supported. Now it's time to support yourself before anyone else catches up. There's a moment that comes to everybody chasing something real, where you look around and no one's clapping, no one's calling, no one's texting to check on how that dream of yours is going. And you realize, if this thing is gonna happen, it's gonna happen because you made it happen. And in that moment, you got two choices, fold or start anyway. You see, there's a special kind of strength that shows up when no one else does. A power that rises up inside of you when there's nobody left to lean on, and the only person keeping the lights on in your dream is you. That's what I call self-starting, and it ain't glamorous. It ain't a movie montage with inspirational music in the background. No, this is waking up early when your body's begging for sleep. This is practicing your craft in silence. This is putting in the reps when nobody's watching and no one's validating. It's you, a cheap notebook, a worn-out laptop, and a relentless faith that says, I don't need the crowd. I don't need the applause. I need the work. When I was coming up, I didn't have a line of people holding open doors for me. I had rejection, closed rooms, cold shoulders, but what I also had, what I chose to have, was persistence. I said asterisk, if I can't find the door, I'll build one. If nobody believes in me, I'll believe louder. If no one's coming to rescue me, I'll rescue myself. That's the grind most people never see. That's the part they skip over in interviews. The part they don't post on social media. Because it's not cute. It's not flashy, but that part, that's where winners are made. Some of you are waiting for someone to tell you it's okay to start. You want a green light, a signal, a sponsor. Let me be that voice for you right now. You don't need a committee. You need commitment. You don't need help. You need hunger. You got a gift. You got a calling. And every day you wait on someone else to jumpstart it. You're putting your destiny on pause. You were never meant to be battery-powered. You were built to burn from the inside out. That's what separates the ones who dream from the ones who build. Because let me tell you, when you learn to start without support, you become unstoppable. You stop depending on motivation and start relying on discipline. You stop looking around for help and start digging deeper for fire. And that's the kind of fire the world can't put out. You don't need everything figured out to begin. You don't need perfection. You need motion. You need to say, I don't have it all, but I'm gonna use what I've got. That's where power lives. In the doing, not the waiting. So take the shot, write the song, launch the business, audition for the role. Nobody's going to hand it to you, and they're not supposed to. That's not how greatness works. Greatness is built when no one's clapping but you're still dancing. When no one's watching but you're still showing up like it's opening night. Because one day, somebody's gonna ask, how did you do it? And you'll look at them and say, I started when no one else did. I built when I had nothing but the bricks everyone else threw at me. I kept going when all I had was me. That's the power of self-starting. That's the power already sitting in your chest, and once you tap into it, no one, not even family, not even fear, can stop what's coming next. Forgiveness, that's the part nobody talks about when they're climbing. Everyone wants to talk about success, hustle, resilience, but nobody tells you how heavy it is to carry resentment on the way up. Nobody tells you that half the weight slowing you down might not be your circumstances. It might be your heart. Because here's the truth. At some point, you've got to stop being angry at who didn't show up. You've got to let go of the hurt from the people who said they'd be there but disappeared. The ones who doubted you, dismissed you, disrespected the vision you were brave enough to chase. You've got to release that, not because they deserve peace, but because you do. I know what it feels like to be hurt by people who should have had your back. People who told you they believed in you, but when it came time to show it. Silence, people who saw you struggling and turned the other way like they didn't notice. And yeah, that cuts deep. Deeper than a stranger ever could. Because it's not just disappointment, it's betrayal. And that wound, if you don't treat it, it hardens you. It makes you cynical, bitter, suspicious of everybody, and that bitterness, it becomes a poison you sip every day, hoping it affects someone else. But it never does. It only slows you down. That's why forgiveness ain't about making peace with them. It's about making peace with you. It's about saying, you may have hurt me, but you don't get to keep hurting me. It's about reclaiming your energy, your clarity, your focus. Because when you're holding on to old pain, you've got no hands left to build your future. You don't have to invite them back into your life. This isn't about reconciliation. This isn't about pretending what happened didn't happen. This is about liberation, about no longer needing their apology to move forward, about deciding, I may never get closure, but I will get free. And let me tell you something, when you start to forgive, really forgive, something inside you shifts. The noise quiets, the heaviness lifts. You stop trying to prove yourself to people who were never meant to understand you in the first place. And suddenly there's space for something new to grow, not just in your life, but in your spirit. Forgiveness is not weakness, it's strength. It's strength to say, I'm not dragging this pain into my next chapter. It's power to choose peace over proving a point. It's wisdom to know that just because someone's part of your past doesn't mean they get to shape your path. I had to forgive folks who never said sorry. I had to forgive people who still don't get it, not for them, but for me, so I could breathe, so I could run lighter, so I could keep building what they never believed in. And if you're serious about where you're going, you're gonna have to do the same. You're gonna have to look at that wound and say, you happened, but you don't define me. You're gonna have to unclench your fists and use those hands to build, to write, to create, to rise. You don't get to your higher self carrying the weight of who hurt you. You get there by forgiving, not because they asked for it, not because they earned it, but because you're done bleeding over the same story. You want freedom, let it go. You want growth, let it go. You want peace, let it go. You're not weak for forgiving. You're just no longer willing to stay stuck. You've got this dream burning inside you. A vision, a calling, something that keeps tugging at your spirit even when everything around you says, be realistic. And maybe you've been waiting for your people to get on board, waiting for the encouragement, the validation, the green light from those closest to you. But let me tell you right now, you can't wait any longer. You can't afford to, because some paths, they were meant for you to walk alone. Not because you ain't lovable, not because you ain't worthy of support, but because your journey is sacred, it's personal, it's handcrafted by something higher than opinion, and sometimes the people you love just ain't assigned to this part of the climb, and that's okay. It hurts, yeah, it's lonely, yeah, but don't confuse isolation with abandonment. Sometimes separation is preparation. Preparation for strength, for clarity, for growth. Because when you stop relying on the crowd, you learn to hear your own voice louder. You learn to trust your gut. You learn to move with purpose even when the path ain't crowded. You've got to be willing to walk that road with no one cheering, no one co-signing, no one texting you back saying, I see you. sometimes the only person who's gonna see you is you. And if you can learn to clap for yourself in the silence, you're already ahead of most. See, the problem is too many people are waiting for a committee to believe before they commit. But this path, this calling, isn't a conference call. It don't need 10 opinions, it don't need a family vote. It needs you showing up every day, even when it feels like nobody's watching, nobody's listening, and nobody cares. You walk it anyway, even when your own blood doesn't understand why you're so obsessed with this dream. Even when they mock your hustle or roll their eyes at your ambition. Even when they say, you used to be different. Or why can't you just settle down and be normal? You walk it anyway, because normal ain't your calling. Comfortable ain't your legacy, and small thinking ain't your destiny. You were built for something more, and deep down you know it. There will be nights when you cry yourself to sleep. Days where you question everything. Moments where turning back seems easier than pushing forward. But if you can just take one more step, if you can just trust that this fire in your belly wasn't put there by accident, you will make it. And when you do, when you reach that mountain, when you stand in the light that nobody gave you but you earned, some of the very people who didn't believe in you will act like they always did, and you'll smile. Not out of spite, not out of ego, but because you'll know you didn't need them to start, and you sure didn't need them to finish. So walk your path anyway, head high, shoulders square, spirit strong. Because this journey, this one right here, is yours, and no matter who comes, no matter who stays, no matter who doubts, you were born to walk it. So walk. So now you know. You know the illusion you've been living under, waiting on family, waiting on approval, waiting on someone else to light the fire that's been burning in you this whole time. You know love doesn't always look like support. And that's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to stop letting that keep you stuck. You know the strength of starting with nothing but belief, of standing when no one stands with you, of forgiving, not because they earned it, but because you're ready to breathe again. And above all, you know this road was never meant to be walked by committee. It was meant to be walked by you. So here's my call to you tonight. Plain and simple, stop waiting. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for family to see it. Stop waiting for hands that were never meant to build your vision. You've got everything you need right now to take that first step. The dream is real. The gift is real. And the time is now, so take your place, walk your path, build without applause, believe without backup, and when they ask how you did it, you look them in the eye and say, I stopped waiting, and I started walking, now go. Your future ain't waiting, and neither should you.